They say women are emotional, but nothing makes her feel more than when a man finally walks away. That's when the game flips. See, here's the truth no one wants to admit. Women are not truly afraid of losing a man who begs, explains himself, or tries to fix things. That kind of man is predictable, boring, easy to understand. She knows exactly what buttons to press. But the moment you walk away, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but because you finally value yourself more than her attention, that's when her mind goes to war with her heart. Now, this isn't about manipulation. This is about power, emotional power, the kind most men don't know they actually hold. You think she'll forget you when you go silent? You think she's moved on just because she's posting selfies and pretending to be happy online? Wrong. What you don't see is the spiral behind the scenes. Her brain starts asking, why isn't he calling me? Did he replace me? Was I not enough? That's when insecurity creeps in. That's when the woman who once had the upper hand starts to lose grip. And that's when the man who walked away becomes a mystery. And mystery triggers obsession. See, when you stay, argue, explain yourself, she has closure. But when you disappear calmly without warning, without giving her the reaction she expected, she starts to feel something far more powerful than regret: curiosity. Curiosity is emotional gasoline, and you just lit the match. Now, most guys never even make it this far. They can't take the silence. They rush back in. But the ones who stay disciplined, the men who walk away for real, those are the ones who become unforgettable. Because women aren't wired to miss men who are always available. They miss the ones who moved in silence, who walked away with strength, and who made them feel something they couldn't explain. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what happens inside her mind and heart when you finally walk away. Let's dive in. Most women don't actually believe you'll walk away. They hope you won't. They expect you won't, because 90% of men don't. They threaten to leave, throw drama at you, pull away emotionally, stop texting, just to see what you'll do. It's a test, one she doesn't consciously admit she's doing, but it's rooted in psychology. She's testing your strength, your self-respect, your backbone. And most men fail. They chase, they explain themselves, they beg. That tells her everything. He values me more than himself. That's not attractive. That's not powerful. That's weak. So when you actually walk away, calmly, with no dramatic outburst, no guilt trip, no sad goodbyes, it hits her like a truck. It's not what she expected. It breaks the pattern. Why? Because now, for the first time, you became unpredictable. You stepped out of her emotional control. You disrupted the script. And this is when her ego takes a hit, because she didn't think you'd do it. She was sure you'd come crawling back. She may even act unbothered at first, but that's just pride talking. Inside, she's rattled. She starts wondering, wait, is he really gone? Did I push him too far? Is he seeing someone else? Let me give you a clear example. A guy dates a girl who constantly threatens to leave during arguments. Every time, he apologizes, fixes it, begs her to stay. She loses respect for him. Then one day, he just leaves. No warning, no goodbye, goes silent, focuses on himself, doesn't even block her, just disappears. Within 2 weeks, she's messaging him. 3 weeks, she's posting sad quotes. A month later, she's blowing up his phone with, "Can we talk?" Why? Because she never thought he'd do it. She pushed too far, and he passed the test she didn't think he could. That's power. That's walking away like a man who knows his worth. And once you do that, the entire dynamic shifts. Now, let me show you what happens next. When you walk away, the first thing that gets crushed isn't her heart. It's her ego. Women thrive on attention, especially from men they know they had some level of control over. When that attention suddenly disappears, it's not just confusing, it's humiliating. She starts asking herself, wait, how dare he leave me? Doesn't he know what he's losing? Is he really that unbothered? See, most guys don't realize this, but when a woman pulls back or acts distant, she's betting you'll chase. She's betting her looks, her charm, her status in your life will make you fold. And when you don't, that's not just rejection, that's ego damage. This is the part where she doesn't miss you because of love. Yet. She misses the validation, the power, the feeling of being wanted. That's what's really hurting her right now. And here's what's wild. She'll often respond to this hit to her ego in really indirect ways. She might post thirst traps online. She might start flirting with other guys publicly. She might pretend she's living her best life. But every one of those moves is saying, please remind me I'm still wanted. Now, let's bring this to life. A man dates a girl who's used to guys falling all over her. She knows she's attractive. She's got options. So she plays little games, takes hours to reply, cancels plans last minute, teases him with mixed signals. But this guy doesn't react. He pulls away, goes quiet. No emotional response, no chasing. Suddenly she's panicking. She texts him 2 days later, "Hey stranger." Then another, "You good?" A week later, "Guess you're too busy for me now." What's happening here? Her ego can't process the silence, because in her mind, she was too important to be ignored. But you didn't feed the ego. You let her sit in that discomfort. And the longer she sits there, the more unstable her confidence becomes. This is when she starts spiraling, not because she loves you yet, but because her identity is taking a hit. And trust me, a bruised ego feels more urgent than a broken heart. Now, what happens when this bruised ego turns into obsession? Let's get into that next. You'll notice something strange after you walk away. She starts to act happy. She's laughing on social media, posting selfies, hanging out with friends, maybe even posting stories with another guy. And you're sitting there wondering, did she ever care? How is she moving on so fast? But here's the truth. That's not happiness, that's performance. See, most women won't let the world, or you, see them fall apart. They'd rather look unbothered than admit they're hurting. They'd rather fake being over you than show they're affected by your silence. Why? Because pride. Because ego. Because they're just as human as you, but their way of processing pain is often to hide it behind a fake glow-up. So when you walk away and she starts acting like she's thriving, don't fall for it. It's a defense mechanism. She wants you to think you're irrelevant. She wants you to feel like she upgraded. She wants you to question your decision to walk away. But the harder she tries to look unbothered, the more bothered she actually is. And deep down, you can feel it too. Because if someone's really happy, they don't need to prove it to anyone. They're just living their life, quietly, peacefully. But when every move she makes feels like it's for an audience, when the smiles look forced, when the captions sound too confident, when the energy feels fake, you know exactly what's going on. She's not celebrating, she's coping. And here's the part most men get wrong. They take that fake happy energy as a sign to go back, to reach out, to check on her. Don't. That's exactly what she wants, to break your silence, to see if she still has you emotionally. But the moment you react, you give her back the power. Let her act happy. Let her post. Let her pretend. Because while she's doing that for the world, you're the only one she's really thinking about. And the more you stay silent, the more the mask starts to slip. Let's talk about that shift. Because next, the power dynamic begins to flip in your favor. This is the moment most men don't see coming. The power shift. It happens quietly, gradually. But when it hits, everything changes. See, when you walk away and stay silent, something powerful happens. She starts feeling what you used to feel. The confusion, the overthinking, the what-ifs. And you start to feel lighter, stronger, more focused. Because for the first time, you're not chasing someone who doesn't value you. You're finally choosing yourself. But let's pause for a second. Because most men never get to this stage. They fold before the power shift even happens. They see her posting selfies or acting happy and they panic. They cave. They reach out. They ask, "Are you okay?" They say, "I miss you." And boom, all that power you were building, gone in a second. Let's be real. Too many men are emotionally weak. Too many of you are trained to think your worth comes from her approval, from keeping her happy, from making sure she doesn't leave. Wake up. A woman should complement your life, not complete it. The moment you make her the center of your world, you lose yourself, and she loses respect for you. The power shift isn't about playing games. It's about rediscovering your own value. It's about realizing that walking away is the most masculine move you can make when respect is lost. effort is one-sided, or the energy is toxic. When you walk away and don't come running back, you're teaching her something she hasn't felt from most men. You don't need her, not in a bitter way, not in a hateful way, but in a self-respecting, grounded, stoic way. That's when the shift happens. Suddenly, she's the one wondering, is he over me? Did I lose him for good? Why isn't he chasing me like everyone else? You flip the script. You've made her feel uncertain in a game she used to control. And now, she starts thinking about you constantly. Let's talk about what happens when she can't stop obsessing over the man who disappeared. This is when things start to get really interesting. She starts obsessing over you. It might sound hard to believe at first, but once you walk away and maintain your silence, something shifts. She begins to wonder, why isn't he texting me? Did I really lose him? What is he doing now? This confusion isn't just a passing thought. It becomes an obsession. You've created a gap. And the thing is, humans, especially women, hate uncertainty. They need to know what's going on, especially when it comes to things that matter to them. When you were always available, when you were always chasing, she could predict your actions. But now, she can't. She's left wondering. And wondering turns into overthinking. Overthinking turns into obsession. Here's the thing most men miss. Obsession is a result of distance. When you walked away and stayed silent, you gave her a taste of something she's not used to, not having control over you. That's what drives her crazy. She starts analyzing everything. What is he doing right now? Is he out with someone else? Does he miss me? Is he better off without me? You see, she doesn't just miss you. She starts to need to know what you're up to. And it bothers her deeply that she can't figure you out. And for the first time, you've become the mystery. Women don't chase what they can have. They chase what they can't. And the silence you've created is driving her mad with curiosity. But here's where many men mess up. They give in. They break the silence. They think that if they show some attention again, they can regain control. Don't. Keep letting her wonder. The more you remain silent, the more intense her obsession will become. She'll crave closure. She'll crave your attention. And when you left her with nothing but unanswered questions, you've made yourself unforgettable. Now, let's talk about the next move she'll make when that obsession takes a turn. At this point, something sneaky starts to happen. Her friends get involved. Now that she's obsessing over you, she can't help but talk about it. And who's she talking to? Her friends. But here's the thing. Her friends don't know the full story. They don't know why you walked away or how much she's struggling with it. All they see is her acting hurt or confused. So they fuel the drama. They feed into her emotional chaos. They start telling her things like, "Girl, you deserve better than that. He's probably talking to someone else. If he wanted you, he wouldn't have disappeared." And here's where you need to understand something critical. Her friends, even with the best intentions, can make the situation worse for her. See, what they don't know is that their advice is building a deeper emotional attachment. They're reinforcing the idea that she deserves more, which makes her doubt the decision to let you go. And the more they tell her that she's better off, the more she starts realizing, wait, this feels wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have let him slip away so easily. Why can't I stop thinking about him? The friends don't know that the silence is what's keeping you in her head. They think talking about it with them will make her feel better, but in reality, it's making her realize that losing you was a mistake, and it doesn't stop there. As her friends fuel her emotions, they also create a sense of competition. She knows you're still out there, living your life, and the more she talks about you, the more her friends, often unknowingly, push her to do something about it. You should text him. Maybe he'll come back if you just try harder. But she knows that if she does that, she loses. She'd be giving you the power back. So she's torn. Her mind says, I should reach out. But her pride says, if I do that, he wins. And this constant internal battle, it's keeping her stuck in a cycle of obsession. Now, let's talk about the next step in this game, where things go from obsession to desperation. All right, this is where it all starts to get even more intense. Desperation kicks in. Up until now, she's been obsessing. She's been confused, overthinking, and wondering about your silence. But now, after days or even weeks of you staying distant and unaffected, the feelings she's been suppressing start to push through. The desire to reach out becomes unbearable. She can't stop herself from thinking, what if I lose him for good? What if I never get a chance to fix this? This is where the desperation sets in. She starts feeling the pressure of her own pride, her own emotions, and the fear of losing you forever. She's no longer thinking logically. She's thinking emotionally, and that's when people make the worst decisions. This is when she'll start doing things she swore she'd never do. She might casually drop a text, something like, "How have you been? I miss talking to you. Are you still angry with me?" Or maybe she'll test the waters with something more direct. "Can we talk? I want to know what went wrong." Notice the difference now? This is desperation. She's not casually reaching out because she's fine. She's reaching out because she can't handle the thought of you slipping away for good. Her ego is on the line. But here's the thing most men don't get. When she reaches out in this state, you can't fall for it. You can't get caught up in her emotional plea. Because if you do, you'll let her back in control. And everything you've worked for, your silence, your power, the mystery, will go to waste. Now, here's where the advice gets tough. Don't let desperation fool you. You're not dealing with a woman who is suddenly ready to commit. You're dealing with someone who has felt the sting of loss and is trying to fix it. When she reaches out like this, you've got to resist the urge to comfort her. You've got to stay firm, stay confident, and don't make the mistake of thinking you have to solve her emotional crisis. The moment you do, you give her back control, and she'll start to lose that obsession. Now, let's talk about what happens after the desperation fades, and how you can turn the tables even more. By now, if you played your cards right, your confidence is everything. This is what sets the men who truly understand power dynamics apart from the ones who slip back into chasing and desperation. The moment she sees you walk away and stay silent, it's your confidence that makes her wonder if she's lost you for good. But what makes this confidence so critical is that it doesn't come from the need for validation. A lot of men fail here. They might start getting desperate or feel insecure once they see the woman they desire pulling away. They think, if I don't chase her, I'll lose her forever. But here's the truth. You're not going to lose her if you act from a place of true confidence. When you walk away, you're showing her that you don't need her approval to be okay. You've built your own value. You know your worth. And that's what makes you irresistible. Confidence isn't about arrogance or pretending you don't care. It's about believing you're strong enough to stand on your own without needing validation from her. When you do this, you stop chasing, you stop overanalyzing every move she makes, and you start focusing on yourself. And that's what she finds magnetic. When she senses that you don't need her, she'll begin to feel an emotional pull. She'll start to realize that you could live without her. And that's when the power dynamics flip completely. Now, she's the one chasing your attention. But be careful. Confidence doesn't mean you become cold or dismissive. It means you stand firm in your value and your principles. You know that you're a man of action, that you have things going for you, and you won't beg for anyone's love or affection. When you do this, you create an aura of respect. You make her see you as someone who is in control of his life, not just a player in hers. Here's the secret. Confidence gives you control over your emotions, which in turn gives you control over the situation. If she's reaching out, if she's obsessing, if she's desperate, it's because she's wondering, where did the man go who used to care so much? How did he become so confident? Let's move into the next part. What happens when she realizes she doesn't control you anymore? This is when things get real. The moment she realizes she doesn't control you anymore. Up until now, she might have had you wrapped around her finger, even if just a little bit. She could text you whenever she wanted a response. She could get your attention with a look, a smile, or a comment. And for a time, you probably gave it to her. But now, that power dynamic has shifted. When you walk away and stay silent, you take back your power. And that's when it hits her. She starts realizing that she no longer has the ability to pull your strings. It doesn't happen all at once, though. It happens slowly. First, it's confusion. Then, it's frustration. And eventually, it becomes a hard truth that she can't ignore anymore. You are not waiting for her validation. You are not chasing her anymore. This realization is a tough pill for many women to swallow, especially if they've always been the one in control of the relationship or the interaction. When she realizes she can't control you, she's faced with something she's probably never had to deal with. She has to earn your attention now, and that's a game changer. You're no longer a convenience or an option for her. You're now a prize, someone who's living life on his own terms. And women chase what they can't have. The moment she sees she can't easily get your attention is when she starts doing whatever she can to win it back. And here's the catch. The harder she tries, the more you stay composed. The more you resist, the more she'll be pulled in. But it's crucial to understand that this isn't about playing mind games or being manipulative. It's about respecting yourself enough to not settle for anything less than what you deserve. The more you stand firm in your confidence and maintain your emotional distance, the clearer it becomes that you have control of your own life, regardless of what she decides to do. Now, let's talk about how she reacts when the game flips in your favor, and how you can handle the pressure that comes with it. Now that she's been through the emotional roller coaster, here comes the final stage. She comes crawling back. You've played your cards right. You stayed silent, you walked away, and you held your ground. And now she realizes she's losing you for good. She can't take the emotional void anymore. She can't stand the thought of you slipping away into someone else's life. So what does she do? She comes back. She reaches out again. But this is the most crucial part. How do you handle her when she finally comes crawling back? If you've done everything correctly, you're in a position of power now. You've got the upper hand, and this is where most men mess up. They get excited. They think, this is it, she's back, I won. But here's the reality. You're not done yet. This is the moment where you prove your worth and set the boundaries for the future. First things first, don't rush to forgive her. When she reaches out, don't immediately go back to the way things were. Remember, she's coming back because you've made yourself emotionally unavailable. Now, it's time to decide if you even want her back. It's not about playing games, it's about keeping your standards high. You've shown her you don't need her to feel complete, so don't let her think that you'll drop everything just to pick up where you left off. Take your time. When she reaches out, make her prove herself. She needs to show that she values you for who you are, not just because you become someone she can't control. If she comes back, make sure she's doing it with the right intentions, not out of desperation or ego. And here's the key. Let her chase you. She's already seen what it's like to lose you. She knows now that she's not the only one who has the power in this situation. Now, it's your turn. When she comes crawling back, don't just fall into her arms. Stand firm. Let her prove she's worthy of your time and attention. Let her earn your respect, your trust, and your love. By doing this, you ensure that she understands one final thing. You are the one in control. You are the one who gets to decide if this relationship moves forward or if it stays in the past. So here's the truth no one wants to say. When you walk away and let her feel the loss, you're not just playing a game, you're setting the foundation for real respect. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop giving her all your attention, that's when she truly starts to see your value. And let's face it, most men never realize this. They think they have to bend over backward to please women, to win them over, to keep them interested. But that's the worst thing you can do. Women don't want weak men. They want the strong, independent, unpredictable ones who have their own lives. So if you've ever walked away, or if you're thinking about doing it now, don't hesitate. Let her feel the power of losing you. Trust me, it works. She won't forget it. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you tried walking away? How did it change things for you? Comment your experiences below. I'd love to reach out and connect with you personally. I want to hear what's been happening in your life, and together we can learn and grow through these real-world situations. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. More strategies and real talk are coming your way.